Hi, today we are going to learn how to create images from our SwiftUI views and share them. So I have an app here which shows an achievement, like with this trophy and the text 10th workout completed. And if the users tap on share button, it's going to generate an image where we can share that image to other apps or save it to our files or our photos library. So if we hit the save to files, it's just going to open our files and then we're just going to give it a name, test image. And when we hit save, we will have the image available. So if you go to our files, we're just going to see that it is there. Cool. So now we're going to see how we can do this in code. It's pretty simple. So now if I go back to content menu here, so I have a simple SwiftUI project here. I want to walk you through the components. So we have this shareable image, optional UI image property, which is initially nil. And we have a flag here to make sure we run some code only once when the onAppear is called for the first time. And then in the body, we are very simple, like we have a vstack, and then we have the make body method that will provide us the body, which is a vstack with the trophy image and the text that it says 10th workout completed. And then here's the interesting part that we're going to say if let shareable image. So if the shareable image has a value, we are going to show ShareLink. So the ShareLink takes the item that you want to share, takes the preview you want to show to users. I'll show you again this in detail, and then the label you want to give to the ShareLink. This label is optional, so if you could remove this, this will still work and you would get a default label. But I like to provide my own label here with the text share. And then when the whole view loads, we have this onAppear here, checking the flag to make sure we call the method only once, because we don't want to keep rendering the image. And then we are going to call the render image. So if you go to the render image method, this is where the actually image generation happens. So first we are initializing a property body with this make shareable view method, which is right here. It's actually just using the body and wrapping it inside the vstack to provide some additional padding. And once we get that view, we are going to initialize a renderer, which is the image renderer from SwiftUI library, and then just takes the content with the UI view. And then once we initialize our renderer, we can just call the UI image on it. It also has like some other methods like CG image if you need in other formats, but we are interested in the UI image. So we're just going to say let image equals to render that UI image. If not, yeah, we can maybe show an alert because something went wrong here. And then once we get the image, we are going to set shareable image as equal to image. So I actually don't like how ShareLink works, that we have to first initialize an optional image and then set its value after rendering an image when the view first loads. But I will comment on it at the end of the video. Okay, so now this is the whole code we have. And then as I shown you that you can just tap on the ShareLink and save the image. And that's it. But if you try it again, I want to show you that you can save the image with the save image option to your photos, which is important because often when we generate images from our apps, users want to save that image to their photos. It's pretty simple to fix this though, and it's happening because we do not have access by default to users' Photos app from our app. So we need to provide a key value pair in our info pillars to ask for permission. So just let's do that, right? Let's go to project here, and then I'm in the info tab already, and we are going to add a new key value pair. So I'm going to press the plus button here, if it works, yeah. And I'm just going to copy over here, prepared. So if I paste here, just a second, NS photo library add usage description, and we're going to provide a value here. Let's say we need access to save your achievements in your photos. Just adding this will fix our issue. So if you run the app again, we are going to see now the save image option is available to us. So when we click here with share, now the first option is save image. We can just tap on it, and for the first time, the system is going to show this pop-up to the user. And if the user allows this pop-up, now if you just go to our photos, we will see that the image is also saved in the user's photos. Okay, that's it. It's pretty simple. As you can see, just with a few lines of code, we can generate the image from a UI, SwiftUI view, with just like here, right? Just initialize the image renderer with the SwiftUI view, and then call .UI image property to get the image, and that's it. It's pretty simple, and you can implement this into your apps. Like it's can be really nice, especially if you have some achievements that you show to users like here, or any other content that might be relevant. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like how ShareLink works, because ShareLink wants your property to be available when you declare it, right? So it assumes that when your view loads, the whatever you want to share needs to be available, so you can provide it here. But it's not in our case, right? Because we just load the view. For example, let's say user achieved an achievement, then we show that to user at some point in our app, but we don't have the image yet. We only going to have the image if we generate it. So that's a problem. And in order to solve this problem, I made this approach, like, have the shareable image here as an optional property. And then when the view loads, generate the image. And then since the shareable image is going to have a value, then show the share link in the body. So there are some problems with this. First of all, the code gets complex unnecessarily and kind of ugly, in my opinion. And also, this enforces us to render an image even when we don't need it. Like maybe user will see this view and they're just going to close it. They don't want to share this accomplishment, this achievement with their friends or something. But in order to achieve this with ShareLink, regardless if the user needs this or not, we have to render the image when the view appears for the first time, so we can show this as an option. So usually in my own projects, I don't use ShareLink in SwiftUI. I also don't use mostly the presentation and navigation with SwiftUI native approach, but I embed my SwiftUI views in hosting controllers. And those hosting controllers have always like a UI navigation controller that helps me with the navigation and presentation. And that would also help me with this sharing approach. So if this view also had like that coordinator approach, where I have this hosting controller and navigation controller, I could only generate the image when I need it. So I could just come up here and say, okay, when the share is tapped with this button, we render the image, then forward it to UI navigation controller somehow. And then UI navigation controller could use UI activity view controller, the old way of, it's the same as, seeing this share sheet. It's the UI activity view controller. And that's it. It could manage sharing the image to the other apps or the user's photos library. It will make this view a lot cleaner, and also the responsibility of showing something else, like some other sheet or view, would be elsewhere. But yeah, that's a different approach, like where I don't use the native presentation and navigation approaches of SwiftUI. But I just wanted to mention that here as well, because as you can see, the share link is not so nice to use, and we unnecessarily render the image when we first show this view. Of course, there could be different approaches here, so maybe it could even be improved, even with this approach. So let me know if you have any ideas on how we can improve this. But yeah, it's essentially very easy to generate the image with this image renderer API we have. Okay, yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and just let me know what you think. See you next time.